or the negative trending response that I saw, I was confused about. I was not prepared to see this. Hey, what's up, y'all? Jay Helms, founder of W2 Capitalist. I want to come to you today. I want to share with you my thoughts on a post and some comments that I got inside the community. So last week I made this post in the W2 Capitalist community, and it was a picture of two guys, two different scenarios. They were on two different ladders. Matter of fact, let me bring this up here and make sure that's right. All right. The caption I put with this was, how do you interpret this illustration, right? Overall, I know we have a bunch of great minds in the community, and I was just curious on how other people saw this and how they see this and what their interpretation of it was, because I've looked at this, I've studied this for quite some time, and I don't normally do that. I'm not an art person at all, but this one just kind of grabbed me, and so I wanted to post it and get some feedback on it. So I want to go through three things. I'm going to go through my favorite comments. I'm going to share those with you. There was what I'm going to classify as a negative trending response, and then I'm going to tell you the third thing I was going to show you or tell you is that how I interpret this picture. But let me go to my favorites so far. Let me make sure I've got the right screen. Yeah. Okay. So this is the actual post. I'm just going to scroll down through here. Tammy, absolutely 100% agree with you. Small, consistent steps. I think of the tortoise and the hare scenario is going to win the race, right? Mark, here's another one that I completely agree with and can relate to is, it may seem impossible for you to achieve things and appear easier for others, but everyone has their own journey. So focus on what you can control. Nail on the head, sir. Thank you, Mark, for that. Sanhaya, you had a really good comment here as well. If you had the right mentor lend you a hand on the right ladder, the guy on the right, you can go up in leaps and bounds. I would add also that masterminds and coaches and things of that nature are going to not just pull you up, but they're going to push you. So now you've got this momentum. You can make it on your own. Let's see. There was a couple more on here. So we're just wrapped up baseball season, right? So John, I appreciate the baseball reference. Base hits will get you the victory that you're seeking. Completely agree with that and resonates with me. They also get you in the Hall of Fame, right? As I put it there. There's a couple more here, and then I'm going to get to my favorite. CP Walsh, thank you for this, sir. The path for some is easier than for others, but the path is there to succeed. I think that's deep, brother. Thank you for sharing that. Where was another one that I saw that really resonated with me? Pili Yosuri, sometimes you are so focused, you miss the opportunity right next to you. Leaps and bounds. I mean, what's preventing this guy on the right to walk over to the left-hand side and say, hey, I'm coming. I'm following your footsteps, right? Let's see. What was the other thing? Brandon, this goes back to the old high school days. Remember the C5, right? So Brandon, completely love this. If your plan ain't working, don't be afraid to follow one that is. Sometimes we do allow to get pride to get in our way. My favorite one so far, and I hope you guys can see this because I think it kind of cuts off the model at the bottom, is Chris Linger's comment. And I am so impressed with this. He is a member of the mastermind. He has 100% attendance record. He'll know what that means, and his lovely wife Maricela will know what that means. But he makes a comment here that says, I think I see a hammer in the person on the left's hand. So I take it that he's filling in the same blank spaces. So progress is made, and he climbs the ladder as he builds it. Now, I can't highlight this. I wish I could. I wish you could see my pointer here. But if you look at the guy on the left at the very top, there does appear to be some sort, unless this guy just has like a cleft foot kind of hand, he does appear to have some sort of tool there with him, and that's incredible. That's an incredible observation, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. So those were a few of my favorites. So the second thing I want to share with you is a trending negative response that I saw this, and I'm going to address the trending negative response because I think it's, if you responded that way or if you responded the same way, I've got something that's going to help you out, get you past this, right? And the trending response, and by the way, I identify and manage trends. So I do this with people that I've managed before, things that work really well here in the W2 Capitalist community. And I certainly do it when investing in real estate and evaluating partners and things of that nature and just looking at assets overall. But the first time something happens, any scenario, just it doesn't matter what it is, I consider that an anomaly, right? The second time's a pattern. It's a pattern that I use this to go to two. Second time's a pattern. Third time is a trend, right? I pay attention to the patterns because those are, if it happens again, it's going to be a trend, but I manage the trends, right? So the manage or the negative trending response that I saw, I was confused about. I was not prepared to see this because usually folks in the community don't have this mindset, or at least I didn't think about it, them having this mindset until now. So it tells me there's an opportunity to help some folks out with this, hence the reason for the video. So I was surprised, I was thrown back, but the negative trending comment that I saw was they had some sort of privileged undertone, right? Like the guy on the left he was higher, right? He's had some sort of privileged assistance. And I first saw this, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, it pissed me off to see that people were commenting this in the W2 Capitalist community. And I was like, no, this is a good opportunity to help those who look at it that way, right? And I'm not saying for the folks who look at it that way, I'll bring it back up. The folks who look at it this way and you think the guy on the left has had a privileged lifestyle or privileged help to get to where he is, I am not saying that you're wrong, but what I am telling you is that if that is the way you interpret it, that tells me a lot about you, right? It tells me the type of info that you're consuming, the type of people that you hang around, and that you feel comfortable identifying excuses on why you're not more successful, not the guy on the right, but why you're not more successful, right? And if you want to sit here and if you want to look at these two different people, right, in these similar scenarios, and say the guy who's able to get ahead faster because he was privileged, you're going to have a hard life. You're going to forever be stuck like the guy on the right, right? You're going to be stuck. You're going to be stagnant. You're going to be plagued. You're going to, or not plagued, but plateaued. You're going to wrongly be comparing what might be your chapter 3 with his chapter 22, right? You don't know that this guy on the left hasn't climbed that ladder 50,000 times to go find toothpicks to put together to make another rung with that tool or whatever he has in his. We don't know that. We don't know that. All the only thing we should be able to do is look back and says, you know what? The guy on the left seems to be getting to where he wants to go. How do I get there? It looks like he's done something that's made it a lot easier, right? But if you have that mindset of, well, the guy on the left has been privileged, then you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. So here's what I want to do. I want to challenge you to be more successful. I want to challenge you to be more like the guy on the left, right? So what I'm going to challenge you is to change your mindset, change the way that you look at things. So if you want to get ahead in life, you want to be like the guy on the left and be more successful, right? You have to change that mindset. And the way that change that mindset starts is with two things, really. It's with what you're constantly consuming and who you're constantly hanging around, right? So starting today, here's my challenge for you. Starting today, unplug the mainstream media. I don't care if you're a Fox person, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, I don't care what mainstream media speaks to you. Just unplug it. Stop watching it, right? It's all garbage. There is absolutely nothing that's going to happen. It's going to be reported in the mainstream media that is going to directly impact your life. It's just not going to happen. And I can testify to this because probably it was 10 years ago, I took the challenge from the 4-hour work week. This is where I adopted this principle from. And I took the challenge of saying no mainstream media for 14 days. My life didn't fall apart. And guess what? I have not looked back in, right? I have not looked back since then. The point I want to make is if it is newsworthy, somebody who's close to your circle is going to bring it to your attention. And that's where challenge number 2 comes in. The people in your circle, are they telling you, show them this illustration, ask them what they think of it, right? And if they say, well, the guy on the left is privileged, you need to stop hanging around them, right? If you have somebody in your circle and they say, man, that guy on the left, he's pretty successful, I wonder how he got ahead a lot quicker than the guy on the right. If I were me, I would want to follow the guy on the left than sit there and mingle with the guy on the right. That is a person who you need to be spending more time with. The reason being, and just start this for 2 weeks, right? Start as a 2-week challenge. Unplug the mainstream media and focus on people who are going to uplift you with a positive mindset to make you more successful, not relish on why you're not just as successful as somebody else's, right? We don't want to compare your chapter 3 with somebody else's chapter 22, right? And the mainstream media, guys, it's all garbage. It is all complete garbage, and garbage in equals garbage out, right? So the third thing I want to show you today is how I interpret this picture. So I'm a big fan of Brian Moran. I got the book. Brian Moran's 12-week year. It is get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. The concept of the book shows you how to break down your huge goals, your big BHAGs, right? You're climbing this ladder, whatever your ladder is. Your big, hairy, audacious goals. That's what I refer to as BHAGs. It breaks it down to consumable steps. And that's exactly how I interpret this, that this guy on the left, ever how he did it, he focused on step number 1. I can't get to step number 5 yet, right? But I can figure out a way to get to step number 1. Now that I'm on step number 1, I'm going to get to step number 2. Versus just sitting over here wondering, well, I can't go. I can't do it. I can't climb. Stop making excuses. More importantly, stop watching the mainstream media and stop hanging out with those deadbeats who are warping your mind. And so here's what I want you to do for 14 days. By the way, if you disagree with my assessment on this, leave me a comment below. If you want to email me because you don't want to be public, my email is j@w2capitalist.com. I respond to every email that comes into my inbox. But here's what I want you to do, the challenge for 2 weeks. And if you do this challenge and your mindset shifts, I want to hear about it. If you do this challenge and your mindset doesn't shift, I want to hear about it. Email me, j@w2capitalist.com. I'm going to put that in the links below or in the description below. But got to stop watching mainstream media. You got to start hanging around the right people. And I want to invite you to come be part of our W2 Capitalist community, right? Link is in the description below. And if any of this resonated with you today, I would appreciate the subscribe, the like, and the share. Next up, I want to see you in this video right here.